My first experience of Feldenkrais was a teacher in Likely that used to teach artwork, and she went away for a Feldenkrais training and started teaching awareness through movement in the little library in a town called Likely, where I'm originally from. So I came to the Feldenkrais stuff through just wanting, I've been a personal trainer and a fitness person for decades. And I've always been interested in how people learn and movement and just how do we engage in life more fully.
I took my mom to a Feldenkrais practitioner after she had had a stroke, and she had had 2 years of all kinds of therapies that ended up still leaving her in a wheelchair and really unaware of herself and her surroundings.
Many years ago, my niece was in a car accident, and she finally found Feldenkrais and became better.
And I started going to her classes regularly and getting functional integration with her, and I loved the work.
One afternoon when I was in my weekly Feldenkrais class, we were pausing, and my teacher said something about if we wanted to learn more about why this method works so well, we should consider going to a training.
And so I was talking with a mentor of mine who was a physio, and I said, so I want something that taps into the intelligence of how we learn, sort of more directly, more quickly. Do you know anything? And he said, well, I don't know much about them, but you could check out either the Alexander technique or the Feldenkrais technique. And so I looked at them both, and the Feldenkrais technique was movement-oriented, and I'm a movement person, so I thought, that's it.
With both of them advising me in such a soft manner, I decided I would go, and I had a fabulous time. I met great people, and I learned so much about why this method works.
The one visit, the one session that she had with a Feldenkrais practitioner was so different than anything else. The compassion and the actual attention to her as a person, and the change that happened, the transformation in one session. She very soon after began to walk with a quad cane and did many things. So I saw this amazing result.
I loved how I began to sense and feel a connection within myself that I feel I had been looking for all my life.
After a little while of her convincing me over years and years and taking me to Feldenkrais workshops and classes and so on, and of course I was her guinea pig during the training, which was lots of fun, I decided I would then go to classes regularly.
And as a practitioner myself, for the 25 years, I just had to learn this method. So I jumped into the very next training I could without knowing anything about it, had no experience with it, and jumped right into the training.
I had been doing Feldenkrais work on and off for about 20 years. And in my late 40s, I was noticing that I was having places in my life emotionally and physically that I could tell were patterns of habit. And I had done many different things to change that or to work with it. And yet when I found myself in situations, they would be there really strong and I wouldn't have a choice.
So I looked for a training that would be of interest to me, and there was one starting in Victoria. I lived up in the north, so I thought Victoria is better than Winnipeg or somewhere else, you know, let's go. And I thought I'll try it out and see what happens. So I went for the first 2 weeks and really loved the experience of it. So I decided to stay with it and do it.
And something in me knew, from playing on the floor doing awareness through movement and functional integration privately for myself with Sil Rajensky, I thought, I'm going to put myself in a Feldenkrais training, and that will shift my patterns and my habits, and it has. I am a Feldenkrais practitioner, and I have a practice in Lumby, BC. I teach 2 weekly classes, and they really inform me and work me.
My Feldenkrais practice is classes. I teach classes. I also teach occasional workshops. And the work itself informs me not only in my practice with clients. I work with autistic children. I work with brain-injured people. I work with regular athletes who injure themselves. I work with people from all walks of life, just who want some kind of self-improvement for their bodies or their minds.
I love this work. I love, for me, it's the creativity in it, and how each lesson, each time I work with it, it's a creative process. There's something in me that has to respond to what's happening in the class or with the person that I'm working with there, so it's never the same.
And I find that it not only creates a wonderful relationship with them and encourages them to create a wonderful relationship with themselves, but it informs me in all of my life, with all of my relationships, and especially with myself.
And now I'm a practitioner, teaching a few times a week. I have private clients, I do private mat classes, and I do private individual classes, and I'm enjoying life like I didn't before.
I love teaching awareness through movement because it keeps me in the process of learning and being in wonder and curiosity. It's probably some of the principles that I love the most about the work, is I really move in the world in a different way.
And in the people that I work with, I'm always amazed at what happens for them in terms of just their own sense of their own self and the importance of their own experience and coming home into themselves. It's like this is something that gives them a place to come home to, and it's a home that they can become friends with, and it can be a good experience, and they can learn to do more of whatever it is they love to do. And that's really my focus, is what do you want to do with more freedom, more ease? Let's find a way. And I just love being able to help people engage in the world more fully in the things that fire them up. So that's what I love about this stuff.
And I also do private functional integration, and yeah, it really fulfills me. It fulfills my life, and it gives me a sense of purpose in the way that I was always looking for connection. And so the depth of connection and intimacy with myself and others really feeds my light.